Have you ever asked yourself how can there be so many different species? Well, many people have thought about it too, therefore getting to what isolating mechanisms are. Let's start by defining what a species is. A species is a group of organisms that breed with one another and produce fertile offspring. In other words, meaning that individuals of the same species share a common gene pool. For evolution to occur, the gene pools of two populations must become separate to become a new species through something called reproductive isolation. How? Well, natural selection comes into this process, as well as a change in the genes that happens in one new species but not to the others. So how does reproductive isolation work? To start off, it divides into three categories: geographic, behavioral, and temporal isolation. First off, we have geographic isolation. It happens when two populations are separated by geographic barriers, like mountains, rivers, or bodies of water. An example of these are the Abert and Kaibab squirrels. These two populations are separated by the Colorado River, which makes genetic changes that happen in one population not pass to the other. Because of these two different gene pools form, they cause two new subspecies. However, if two formerly separated populations mix and can still interbreed, they continue being one species. Second, we have behavioral isolation. This happens when two populations, just like the eastern and western meadowlarks, are capable of breeding, but because of behavior involved in their reproductive strategy, just like their mating songs, they are incapable of creating offspring. Last, we have temporal isolation, which occurs mostly in plants. It happens when two or more species have the ability to reproduce but at different times. An example of these are three types of orchids which live in the same rainforest. Each species releases pollen one single day, meaning that they reproduce pollen at different times, making it impossible for them to pollinate one another. So the next time you ask yourself, where did all these animals come from? Just remember what isolating mechanisms are.